Hi, so in this video I'm going to show you how to set up your layers in AutoSprink so that the layout for your fire sprinkler design will pop when you go to plot it, either in black and white or color. So this is under the assumption you followed my other videos on how to clean up an AutoCAD file for fire sprinkler design, and you've imported it now into AutoSprink. And so let's go through some items on what I normally set my layers at that work best for printing. So if you recall from the AutoCAD tutorial, we have the grid bubble. I like to, if we double click on that, and if we go to general, I usually put the grid bubble at a width of 0.5. Okay, and as you can see, I have it at the second from the right darkness layer. Okay, there's the grid line. If we check that out, it's general. A slight difference here is we have transparency set at 0.5 because we don't want those lines running through our drawings, confusing plan reviewers, confusing people using the drawings. They may look like walls. So also on this layer we have it at 0.5. So that looks okay. Again, the line type is second from the right, black, lighter black. Okay. The next item, which is an important one, is this walls layer. We want our walls to pop when it plots, either in black and white or color. So let's take a look at our wall setup. We have it use the layer color, and I like to put the walls at a 0.25 width, and for the color, maximum black for darkness comes out great in any way you plot. The next layer, which is critical, is ceiling. The ceiling layer I like to set at, I keep it at 0. It shows up but not too strong. We don't need ceiling lines taking over the drawing. And the color I like to set the ceiling at is that blue in the almost the left side of the color spectrum there, as you can see. Okay. The next layer is our structural layer. I like to put, and let me go back to the grid for a second. One thing I didn't tell you about is I also set the grid lines at dash dot. This again takes away from that the possibility of it looking like a wall and confusing people looking at the plans. So getting back to the structural layer, beams, TGIs, joists, that kind of thing. I set it at 0.35 with a dash. And the color I like to put third from the left, kind of a mid-gray. So that's our structural layer. Next layer we go to is the ceiling layer. If we click on that, I wonder if I made it. Yes, I use about a 0.15. Now, it doesn't really matter here, but I've just noticed that a 0 width on the lighting layer is a little too light, and I do want to see those lights because as sprinkler designers we are always worried about lights and beams and so forth. So 0.15 on the width, and the color, I think I picked this maximum one right here, this guy right here. I believe that's the, yes, that's the color I use for lights, and you can use your own colors. I'm just letting you know. It's mostly, what's mostly important is the widths at this point. Let's see, we have a column in here. I don't think we did anything special with the columns. I put the columns at 0.5. Again, we want those to pop out because of course we have lines running through and we do not want to hit columns. Don't want to be the person who hits every column when you're running pipe. And what do we have for that color is, I think, right there, second from the left, maximum. Kind of a maroon type color. And I think that might be about it. For the room ID, nothing special. Just 0, 1 solid, usually whatever font you'd like. I think this one is Euro style. Regular 9. I do like to use font 9 for the room IDs. It's a pretty not too big, not too small kind of a selection. And again, room IDs should be maximum black, just like the walls. So that is a good way to set up your layers. You might have HVAC layers that you will overlay. Those could be similar to like the ceiling layer there. You might have other obstructions, other types of features, or even lower ceilings, and you can add layers and widths as necessary. But this gives you a general setup for layers that will print in high quality, either in color or black and white. So what you see is a black and white version of our plot using the layer and the layer settings that were described. And this is black and white, and although I missed the left side bar here, it was just an example to show you all what it looks like. But as you can see, going from a cleaned up AutoCAD file into AutoSprink and then using our layers, and even though we have colors assigned, some of the widths that we put down, you can see where things are popping, like the wall pops out, the grid bubble pops, the grid lines are halfway transparent. So this is the black and white version of it. And if we go to the color, we can see that if you're able to submit in color with some of the authorities having jurisdiction nowadays, this looks really good. It's very clean. Some of the lines could maybe be a little darker before submittal, but again, you are now on the way to showing very clearly what your sprinkler system will do and all of the elements of the building that you have to avoid or consider in your design. So this layer setup is made for both black and white and color. So thank you, and check out other videos.